The new 2024 Topps Series 2 baseball is here, and there's some things Topps did really well with this product, and other things, not so much. We're gonna debate what we like and don't like about it now. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode of Cards on the Table. Teapot, Doug, happy 2024 Series 2 release week. This is a big week for the baseball card hobby. And we're going to talk about this product today. It feels like Topps tried really hard with this product. They swung hard. They threw all kinds of gimmicks. That whole book of gimmicks that Topps and Fanatics have, they took that box of gimmicks and just
shoved it all in.
Emptied it into this product, and I love a lot of it. There's some things that I think they missed on. We're going to get into this. For the audience who isn't fully aware of everything that is inside this product. So first of all, they have the Jackson Holiday short print cards. These are the nod to the Billy Ripken cards. The bottom of Jackson Holiday's bat has an inscription, fun face. There's other variations of it that have been uncovered, like scribbles and black boxes, and Topps kept this all kind of secret until the release of this. They let collectors discover this and share this on social media. Mama Breaks was one of the first to share some of the variations of the cards. They also have signature tunes dual autos. So they have the athletes with the artists behind their walk-up music, like Juan Soto's with Daddy Yankee and Kyle Tucker's with Travis Scott with autos. They put Victor Wembanyama autos in here because of course they did. They put CJ Stroud autos in here because of course they did. Any excuse to get Victor Wembanyama into a product to help it sell, that's part of their new first pitch series. It's players who throw out the first pitch at a game. They've got autographs of them in this. They got the social media follow backs, so you can have your favorite athletes follow you on social media. That's been in some of their previous products as well. Women in baseball, featuring female commentators and coaches. Heavy lumber cards, which are wood grain cards. The list goes on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Inserts, special cards, autographs, mini sets. Is it too much? And I think they missed some details along the way as well. Teapot, I'm going to start with you. What do you make of Topps Series 2?
There's always some good, some bad, and some ugly. And I do think you're right. They try hard, and they've been doing a lot of really cool things. Some of the gimmicks I like the Jackson Holiday thing. I think that's an awesome homage. I wish, and I talked about this on our Spitball and Cards podcast, that it was even more short printed. It seems like there's a lot of them coming out of all the different variations. Nobody really knows how rare they are yet, so we're going to have to wait for the dust to settle on that. Some of the other things I like, pack odds. The pack odds for hobby boxes seem to be about half as hard to hit just about everything as Series 1. So it seems like they've actually printed less Series 2, which is kind of nice. It also seems like the hobby boxes may be one of the better formats. You have a chance at an auto, so that's good. And I would say Topps Chrome, just looking ahead, coming out around the National, should be a really nice checklist with the rookies between Series 1 and Series 2. So that's just encouraging with this lot. Ronald Acuna Jr. got a dedicated 40/70 insert, which also comes with an autograph variation. Probably going to be a sticker auto, I'm not sure, but still a really cool homage to him. Too bad he got injured. You've got the notable home field advantage set in there. I like the heavy lumbers. You've also got the legendary home field advantage, which I'll be honest, I didn't even know existed, but has since 2022. Those are 1 in 21,000 packs. This time you've got Mantle, Koufax, Nolan Ryan, Ty Cobb, and Wade Boggs. And then things that I'm bummed about. The golden mirror image variations do not have the black on the border. It's all white. They didn't do that in Series 1, and I think that was an oversight, some kind of printing error on their part. Also, the Shohei Ohtani and Yoshinobu Yamamoto golden mirrors, it's just their press conference in like these baggy Dodgers jerseys, just looking with a weird facial expression. A lot of people were really excited about those cards. Those were a pretty big letdown. Everybody was hoping Juan Soto, who's on the cover, would be in this.
Yeah.
He's not. He's not on the base checklist. So there's no golden mirrors, no Yankee cards of Soto. He's in some autos or inserts, I think. And then the holiday parallels are back. I think those are a staple now. You got hot dog glizzy parallels that I was all excited about. They look like pickles. It's kind of weird. Umbrella was kind of a miss. The sun looks like coronavirus. That's super bizarre. Fireworks is okay. The unnumbered Statue of Liberties do look really cool, so I'll give them credit for that one.
All right. You're going to get a pack here. I'm going to rip this. You're going to get a couple of packs to rip here for your thoughts. I think those were good enough to warrant a couple of thoughts, a couple of packs. Doug, what are your takes on this product?
The biggest thing for me is I'm super excited to chase some of the biggest names in baseball, like, let me check my notes here, C.J. Stroud and Victor Wembanyama. Two of my favorite baseball players, super excited for that. So, what can go wrong, really? Other than that, I'm going to kind of say the same thing I've been saying every time Topps tries some gimmicks. I'm glad they're trying some stuff, but a lot of these aren't hitting for me. Specifically, the Tunes signature set. Who wants a signature of Daddy Yankee on their baseball? You don't want a Daddy
Yankee signature?
Not only that, but he's also got a first pitch card. Who at Topps lost a bet to Daddy Yankee to have two different autograph cards of his in the same set? But I looked at the checklist, and I don't want any of them. Like, none of those appeal to me whatsoever. Okay. So that's a huge miss for me. The one-of-one sketch cards, the hand-drawn sketch cards, I thought were really appealing. I'd have to see them before I can really make a final judgment on it, but I'm interested in that. I like the home field advantage. You covered, a lot more than I thought you were going to be able to, so you kind of hit everything already. But the home field advantage, although kind of a downtown ripoff, I do like the cards. I think they look cool.
I think they look better than downtowns, personally.
Yeah, I guess maybe some. Downtown is a bit more cartoony, I guess, right? So I don't know. Yeah. I do like those, but I want to rip some cards now. You guys.
I'm going to pass you a few packs. Look at this. I got in my first pack. I got a numbered card. I got a numbered Jose Altuve around the horn, numbered to 299. Okay. Look at that. That's a good sign. And I got an Evan Carter Dew card. That looks pretty cool.
Got one of those I got a Heston Kjerstad base rookie.
All right.
And some other coronavirus card. I'm not sure what.
Does Doug deserve packs? Was his take strong enough today? He deserves a few packs. Let's give Doug a few packs.
All right. Throw away the Daddy Yankee
card. All good comments. I'm going to wrap the topic by just simply saying I absolutely love the Jackson Holiday short print cards. The Billy Ripken era card, that was a big part of my childhood. That all happened in the late 80s. The Fleer set in the late 80s. That was a huge deal in the sports card community. All the kids at school were talking about it in the late 80s. And then, of course, they had all the variation era cards of those. I remember seeing those at card shows and just like flipping out by how cool they were back then. So for them to bring that back with Jackson Holiday, one of the top prospects for the Orioles, same pose, I thought that was awesome. That, above all, I think was absolutely brilliant. I do worry maybe we're getting a little bit watered down with all of these different things, but that I love.
It's just trial and error, hopefully. Yeah. Maybe they'll see what works and keep that going and discard the ones that don't. I'd like to see heavy lumber. If it looks anything like 87 Topps, that'd be pretty cool.
Try to pull one. Let's see if we can pull. I'll give Teapot another couple of packs. Let's see if we can pull one right now. And speaking of something that does work really, really well, PWCC's weekly auction every single week is great. And this week, they have the GOAT of golf, Tiger Woods. He's playing in the U.S. Open. His 2001 SP Authentic, considered his most important card. They've got it in a PSA 9 auto grade of 10. It's the number to 900 variation. That is up in PWCC's weekly auction right now. Doug, what do you have your eye on?
You already have one of those?
I do. The 1010.
Yeah.
I got the 1010.
Is that the one I cracked during that episode that we did?
Yes.
Nerve-wracking.
Oh, 10-9 is a 10-9. Yeah. That's right.
Nerve-wracking episode. But I'm looking similar, kind of the same thought process anyway. 2002 SP, but it's a Jordan Kobe dual auto, number to 25. You know how I feel about that. Like I'm passionately going after either a Jordan auto or a Kobe auto. If I could get both, that'd be great. PSA 9, really sick card.
What do you have your eye on, Teapot?
We're talking baseball, and the guy on the cover here, it's a Juan Soto 2018 Dynasty RPA, number to 10. Pretty strong auto. PSA 9 auto. Nice little patch with the star from the Nationals on it. It's a sick card.
There you go. All of those cards plus thousands more are available on PWCC Marketplace right now. And you can also vault your cards with PWCC. When you do, make sure to use promo code SCI. Okay, let's get into our next topic today, gentlemen. Teapot, I don't know what you're doing. You go on the Market Movers YouTube channel this last week. You simultaneously say that baseball card collectors are the smartest group of collectors out there. And then you also say that baseball card collectors have lost their minds by buying Paul Skenes cards and his Superfractor, of course, recently sold for over $80,000. His one-of-one superfractor from 2023 Bowman Draft. Your video was titled, "There's No Way This Ends Well." Now, you did have a lot of compelling research in there as to why that Skenes sale was maybe out there a little bit. Tell us about that, and then Doug and I are going to have a chance to react.
Yeah. Baseball collectors are, in terms of analysis, the smartest. They actually analyze things. They don't just react. I have a hunch that whoever bought that Paul Skenes card for over $80,000 is not a baseball card collector. It's somebody who likes Paul Skenes or thinks that was a good idea, and I really don't think it was. And let me set something straight. I have Paul Skenes on my fantasy team. That dude is a beast. I'm a big fan of Paul Skenes. But when you look at the numbers, you don't have any. There's one Kershaw card that sold for more than that. It was his first red to 5, one of the all-time great pitchers. No Scherzer card has even sniffed. I think the most expensive Scherzer card was like $5K. Justin Verlander not selling for anywhere near that. None of the modern pitchers going back to 1990 forward have ever sold for anywhere close to that. Something like 10% of the sales over $5,000 of pitchers ever have been Paul Skenes. Like, his cards are just selling for these crazy prices. And in a season when we've seen so many of the top pitchers go down with sometimes their second or third Tommy John surgery, I'd be very nervous. Paul Skenes is awesome, but pitchers don't go for that kind of money, and he just shouldn't be. He shouldn't be going for that.
Doug, I got some real strong thoughts on this.
Okay.
I'm going to rip into Teapot a little bit here in a minute, but I'm going to let you go first.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on what Teapot has said about Paul Skenes and about baseball card collectors in general and their high degree of intelligence?
Well, I mean, I guess I'd rather be dumb than sitting on a pile of Wander Franco cards right about now, but so be it. I watched your video, and everything you said made a very compelling case that Paul Skenes card was severely overpaid for. But what kind of new hyped rookie across sports isn't overpaid for, right when that product comes out or during their first year? And then also, which one of those doesn't inevitably fall in price? These are going to probably end up being bad decisions, unless this is a Paul Skenes super collector who just had to get that Grail card no matter what. Or if it's Paul Skenes himself, perhaps buying his own card and just didn't want that. Didn't want it to get away. There's some other options there. It doesn't just have to be, what it is. But we've also seen situations like this where people speculate for really large amounts of money, and that's what kind of exacerbates this whole issue, right? Is the fact that it's not an $800 card, an $8,000 card, it's an $80,000 card. You guys remember what that Mac Jones one-of-one went for? Or some guy who bought that Desmond?
Right?
Yeah, there's that Desmond Ritter that guy paid way too much money for.
Hey, Desmond Ritter's going to make a comeback with the Cardinals. Just wait, baby.
That laugh again.
We've seen some poor decisions, and this might be one of them. Then again, it might not.
It is.
All right, here's what I got to say on this. I respect whoever paid over $80,000 for this Paul Skenes card.
You did it?
I think that person, no, I did not. I think this person is onto something. Look, there's two things that I know that chicks like. One's the home run, and the second is the pitcher who can throw the strikeout. This guy gets up there and just blasts the ball by the hitter. The hitter, like, he struck out Ohtani on 3 pitches.
Then Ohtani hit a home run.
The first at bat, he just obliterated him on 3 pitchers. Chicks love the strikeout.
Nobody's ever said that.
Believe me, just look at his girlfriend, okay? Olivia Dunn loves the strikeout. Chicks love the strikeout. This guy's got the strikeout. Look, I go back to when I was a kid, and one of the most sought after baseball cards of that late 1980s era was Roger Clemens. Everybody wanted Roger Clemens cards. I was dying for Roger Clemens rookie cards because that guy had this like crazy fear to him that he could just throw the ball fast past you at this incredible rate of speed. There hasn't been a lot of pitchers in recent memory that have had that level of buildup and persona. I mean, even a guy like Verlander, who's a great pitcher, but he's a nice guy. He doesn't come across on the mound as this intimidating big guy who can just blast it by you at 110 miles per hour.
Never watched Verlander.
The way that Paul Skenes can. Paul Skenes, I mean, I think it's kind of a Roger Clemens part 2 in many ways.
I don't know. It kind of reminds me of my favorite guy a little bit, Randy Johnson.
And that's true, actually. That I will give you Randy Johnson. I think Randy Johnson's a good thing. And I want to say one more thing about baseball card collectors being the smartest collectors in the hobby because, according to you, they're the only ones who care about stats and don't fall into hype. This caring about stats has caused all of these baseball collectors to spend all of their hard-earned money on Mike Trout, on a guy who has never made the playoffs, on a guy who is injured every single season. Teapot is twitching right now because he can't wait for this show to get over so he can run to the show floor of Cards HQ and buy more Mike Trout cards, because that's what baseball card collectors do. And then they ignore guys for years. Mookie Betts was criminally ignored by these smart baseball card collectors because Betts' WAR wasn't as good as Mike Trout's WAR, even though Betts has 2 World Series titles and is now probably going to get a 3rd this year and is, in my opinion, a better overall player. And guess what? He has rings. Something that Mike Trout will never ever see unless he learns how to pitch a strikeout like Paul Skenes. Then maybe he will be able to put a ring on a girl's finger someday himself. That is my feeling.
I have bought way more Mookie Betts cards than Trout over the years. In fact, too, Roger Clemens' most expensive sale is $8,700 in the last year.
And I think that's the show. We're out of time.
If Roger Clemens had a 1-of-1 superfractor from 1985, I bet that would have sold for more than $100,000.
Stephen A. Devil just coming back.
Let's turn the page here. I want to talk about these laser weld pocket pages from BCW. BCW is, of course, an awesome sponsor of this show, and I got to show these pages to you guys. Now, I had the honor of touring BCW's production warehouse a couple of months ago. We did a video of that here on the Sports Card Investor channel. And one of the things they highlighted was they have this patented process for creating their binder pages. They're unlike any other binder pages because they actually seal these with a laser.
Yeah, I want to know what laser weld means.
Yeah, so what that means is that each of these pockets in this page, these pockets are created by actually using a laser. So what that does is it makes it higher quality. It makes the pocket less likely to rip, and it makes the overall page thinner, and it doesn't puff out over time like the old process of making.
Yeah,
these
you
pages.
notice it's thinner and it doesn't have those big crimped
exactly
sections.
So this is BCW's the only company that does it. It is BCW's laser weld pages, and they're available on bcwsupplies.com. If you use promo code SCI, you get 10% off your entire purchase of everything on bcwsupplies.com. Okay, guys, let's get into our first mailbag today. eBay is making news this week because they have started to turn on the ability for some sellers to require auto charging on auctions. So what this means is, and this is a seller option, but if you're selling a card on eBay via auction, you can turn it on where at the end of the auction, it will automatically charge the person's credit card if they're the winning bidder. That means that the person has to have their proper payment information in there before they're allowed to bid, and they get warned of this before they're allowed to bid. Now, this is not available to all sellers. eBay's confirmed that this is a test rollout. I think they're rolling it out incrementally to make sure that it's working. But my question to you guys, is this going to help solve non-payment and shill bidding, or is this actually in some ways going to backfire? Could this cause less people to want to enter into eBay auctions because they could be worried that maybe they don't want to get charged right at the end? Maybe they need a few days to come up with payment. T-Ball, what's your take on this?
I think selling's back, baby. We're back. I love this. I loved having the ability to enable this on Buy It Nows. When somebody sends me an offer, I say yes, accept, and it goes cha-ching, and it pays right away.
And that rolled out a few months back that you could start to enable that on Buy It Now.
They've had that for a little while, and we've been waiting for this aspect to come out. I think this is huge, and I like it as a seller. I like it as a buyer because it means I'm less likely to get shill bid on things when I'm going out or to have somebody else competing. There's still a little bit of ambiguity around it. Like, what if the card declines? They can't really do a pre-check before you bid. Does this delay the last minute snipe? Like, I don't quite know how this is going to play out with auctions, but unpaid items is a massive issue. This huge issue. People manipulate eBay to try to manipulate comps, to try to jack up the prices on their own cards. I'm really curious, will the larger consignment companies like Probstein, PC Sports Cards, DC, MC, 4 Sharp Corners, all of those guys, Quick Consign, will they enable this feature? Will they do that? How will this impact their business? I hope they will do that. In fact, if I were eBay, I'd be saying, if you're going to be a consignee with us, you need to enable this because this is a big problem and we're trying to change the image of our platform. Everybody go turn this setting on right now if you have the ability.
I agree. I did text Rick Probstein to ask if Probstein was going to turn it on. He did not text me back. He did not respond. So we'll if we get a response from him, I will add that into the comments of the show below. Doug, your thoughts on this?
Yeah, so, I've used this as a seller on Buy It Nows for a while. It feels like it's been over a year that I've been using it, and I've enjoyed it for that. But I do think it's a little weird with auctions, just because, on the one hand, it should help against shill bidding. It should. But people are going to find workarounds for that, right? They're going to find ways to still shill bid things and not end up paying for them, whether they use some sort of privacy card or something like that. There'll be ways, I'm sure of it. The other thing I'm worried about is the increase in returns and chargebacks. People will still shill bid, they'll get charged, and then they'll just file in a return or try to file a chargeback on the item. The same excuses that we've always heard when someone accidentally bids or accidentally wins an item, they're still going to pop up and there's still going to be a problem. Now there's just going to be more transactions involved on either side. So I don't think this is really going to fix entirely the problems, but it's a step in the right direction. An important one. I feel like this should have been, a feature a long time ago, but I'm glad we're in that direction.
All good thoughts. I agree with both of you gentlemen. Let's go to the second mailbag topic today, and this one is about Fanatics. They are rebranding PWCC. So, Fanatics bought PWCC, I think it was last year, and now they are going to be retiring the PWCC brand at the end of this month. They're rebranding to Fanatics Collect. PWCC, of course, is a sponsor of the show, so I guess now Fanatics Collect will be a sponsor of this show. And later this year, they are going to introduce new features like peer-to-peer trading. That's interesting. AI-powered concierge services, card scanning, and digital collectibles. So maybe you can store your NFTs in Fanatics Collect, whatever they happen to be worth today. They also announced a partnership with Sotheby's. I thought this was interesting. So apparently very high-end cards above $1,000 or above $100,000. Sotheby's is somehow going to be involved in those starting in September. And the first joint auction is going to be in September featuring a 1948 Leaf Jackie Robinson card. What do we make of all of this news with PWCC and now Fanatics Collect? Doug, your thoughts?
I don't care a ton about the Sotheby's news. I'm almost surely never going to be a buyer or seller of a six-figure card. So that's, whatever. If that's a good platform for people that have that kind of money, great. Won't affect me one bit. I'm more concerned with what this will do to PWCC, and I'm hoping it doesn't do a ton to it. Honestly, over the past couple of months, that's the marketplace I've used the most for both buying and selling. And I know they're a sponsor of the show, and I'm not just saying that. But truthfully, I've bought more and sold more on PWCC than any other marketplace recently. And I just prefer that platform, that interface, and I hope the core of it stays the same. The most interesting thing is the peer-to-peer trading. That's going to be a really interesting feature, and I think it's going to drive a lot more people to the PWCC vault just to have that immediacy to be able to trade out of the vault or immediately go to marketplace with your item or after a trade. So I think they'll see an uptick in vault, if anything else. But, as long as they don't mess with what's working, I'll be happy about it.
Yeah. What is your take, Teapot?
The trading aspect's really interesting. We've seen other platforms, MyCardPost, Veriswap, and others, enable trading. That's something that people really like to do. So if you already have it in a vault, no cash needs to change hands. You can just trade assets or maybe asset plus cash. That's a really cool option to have, and I do think that would encourage people to send things to the vault. We saw this coming. I think we saw this coming. That we kind of knew the writing was on the wall that this would happen. It's been quite a journey for PWCC, for some good and some bad. I don't know how this will impact their brand overall, if anything's changing with their marketplace. Those are the details that I'm also waiting to hear about. Are they going to change the domain? I guess they'll have to. They'll probably redirect from pwccmarketplace.com to some new domain.
Actually, if you go right now to fanaticscollect.com, it
redirects you to
PWCC.
Switch it. So, and the last thing is just what about the PWCC-A designation and some of those things? Are they still going to keep doing that? Will it be Fanatics A? I don't know. Just a lot of open questions. Interesting.
Questions to answer for sure. Obviously, when Fanatics bought PWCC, we, as you said, we kind of expected that there would be some type of more formal integration. I did not assume that they were just going to keep it running as its own brand name, PWCC forever. Seems like the wheels are starting to come in motion for this. From the very beginning, Michael Rubin said that they wanted to basically own the entire ecosystem, and it seems like Fanatics owns most of it now, and bringing this Fanatics Collects further into their ecosystem further strengthens that. Grading, I guess, would be, that's the one thing they don't own, right? And we've talked about that endlessly on this show before as to whether Fanatics will ever get into grading, acquire a grading company. Who knows what the future holds, but it will certainly be interesting to watch how this rollout with Fanatics Collect goes. All right, guys, we hope you enjoyed today's show. If you did, please give it a like. Please give it a subscribe. Teapot is stealing more packs of Topps Series 2 from me. I hope you have fun opening up the product. Don't forget to check out PWCC, now Fanatics Collects, as well as bcwsupplies.com. Promo code SCI for 10% off. We appreciate you, and we'll see you next time. Take care.